Hello everybody, it's Dana Sullivan, the Stampin' Chick, here with another Make It Monday. How are you today, my friends? I hope you had a fabulous weekend. Here it is, almost Valentine's Day. We're the last Monday and the last day of January. Oh my goodness. Already the year is just going whoosh, isn't it? So, as this being the last Monday of the month, it is also the Stampers Showcase Blog Hop! Whoop whoop! And that means that you're going to want to head over to my blog. You can get there via thestampinchick.com and check out today's blog post and follow the hop along. This month's theme is all about celebration. So we're going to be sharing all sorts of fun ideas using products from the new celebration brochure. And you're going to love it. So you want to make sure that you head over there and check it out, okay? All right, so my project for today's hop has a lot of layers and dimension to it. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I always recommend no more than 2 layers of dimension when you're going to be mailing a card through U.S. Postal. And as you can tell, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to call that 4.5 because that's easily a depth and a half. Anyway, it has a lot of layers and dimension to it. This particular card is already spoken for. It's going to be hand delivered. So I'm not worried about all of the layers. In fact, I thought it made it just a little bit more fun to add all of those layers on it. However, for this evening, I'm going to be doing this project with you, and I'm going to do it in a more mail-friendly version, okay? So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. And with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what supplies I'm using this evening. Hi, Miss Luann. How are ya? Folks, when you come in, feel free to say hello. Let me know you're here. Sometimes Facebook lets me know, and sometimes it doesn't. And I'd love to say hi to you, so be sure to say hello. Feel free to give a thumbs up or a heart, and be sure to share this video. So your sharing is caring, and we can invite more friends to come and stamp with us, and it's a good day. All right, I'm using the Daffodil Daydream bundle from the Spring Mini catalog. Okay, so this isn't Celebration, but in the Celebration brochure, it has a coordinating designer series paper that's called Daffodil Afternoon, and this paper is really neat. It's got some rich, bold, dark colors, and so you want to kind of be cautious about what you're mixing it with so it's not too dark, unless of course you're going for a dark theme. But it has some really pretty patterns as well as some nice background textures as well. So we're going to be using this one, and it is from the Celebration brochure. So when you purchase the Daffodil Daydream bundle, you can get the designer series paper for free, which is absolutely wonderful. And then I'm also going to be using the Special Moments stamp set. This one is also in the Celebration brochure. And I'm using it because, you know, it's not Easter and we're nowhere close to Mother's Day yet. So I didn't want to make anything like that. And like I said, this particular card already has a place in mind. So I wanted something a little more friendly related rather than holiday or special occasion. So this stamp set is perfect because it has so many different sentiments in it, and they're all absolutely adorable. Super, super cute. So I love this stamp set. So we have 2 celebration items that we're using on the card this evening. Now, you're going to need a piece of Pear Pizzazz cardstock. We're using this as our card base this evening. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25 inches. I'll throw it across the table for good measure. This is our card base. Then I have a piece of very vanilla cardstock that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. This is going to be my inside panel. I've taken a piece of that beautiful Daffodil Designer Series paper, and it has a sheet that has, it looks similar to this right here. It's one of those that I absolutely love. You can just cut it in 4-inch strips and then cut 5 1/4 inches twice from each strip, and you get 6 fabulous card front panels ready to go. It's got a beautiful texture, a beautiful layout, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Alright, then I used the Stitch So Sweetly dies for these 2 pieces here. So this one is the second largest Stitch So Sweetly die. The paper measures 2.5 by 3 5/8, and this is that Daffodil Designer Series paper, as you can see. I love that the yellows match perfectly, and it's one of the things that we love about Stampin' Up!, right? All of their colors coordinate perfectly. Daffodil Delight is Daffodil Delight straight across the board. It's wonderful. This is actually Bumblebee, I believe. Let's see. It's Crushed Curry and Daffodil Delight, so I was wrong. Crushed Curry and Daffodil Delight. And then this layer is the 3rd largest Stitch So Sweetly die, and it originally measured 2 1/8 by 3 1/4. And this will be layered right on here. And then I've also got a piece of very vanilla cardstock that I've already pre-stamped in Memento black ink. And that's because I wanted to get right to coloring. I'm using Light and Dark Daffodil Delight and also Light Mossy Meadow. Now, I'm not using the dark Mossy Meadow because, honestly, the dark is a bit darker than I want. And I'm just going to go back over the shady areas with the light and add just a little extra color there. Okay. So I'm using the sentiment for someone who is wonderful in each and every way. And I've pre-cut this fabulous label from the Ornate Frames dies. These are in the annual catalog. They were in, gosh, it might have been 2 holiday catalogs ago, and they were tucked away with the Halloween stuff. And so if you're not really into Halloween, you may have overlooked them, but they're absolutely gorgeous, and I love using them for all sorts of occasions. So in this particular case, I was able to use it for this sentiment. It fits perfectly. And then I'm also going to be using some of the beautiful, very vanilla lace ribbon here, scalloped lace trim. I absolutely love it, and I thought it gave a really nice texture to the card. Oh, what did I get on there? And then I'm going to be using a few rhinestone basic jewels. Okay, so that's all our stuff here. Let me go ahead and bring in my Pierce mat and my scrap paper, and I'm going to start by coloring these daffodils. So I'm going to show you how I color them. I am nowhere near an expert, and you know, there are a lot of folks who are better at coloring incredible coloring jobs with the Stampin' Blends, but I'm a very basic girl. So if you are like me and you're not this incredible pro color, then you're really going to enjoy this, okay? So I'm taking the Dark Daffodil Delight first, and I'm just following the lines around the top of the buttercup part itself, right here, and around this, and then I'm going to color a bit in the middle, and then I'm going to color just a little down the side of it to give some shade, alright? And then right here where the lines of these petals are, I'm just going to follow the lines to give a little bit of interest and shadow. Alright, that's it. That is all I'm doing. And then I'm going to take my light Daffodil Delight and go back over everything on the buttercup itself. And I'm not going to color the leaves or the other petals at all. I'm just going to leave them. So, you know, some daffodils have a yellow center and white petals, and that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing on this one. So I'm just following the lines that are already there in the black, doing that with the dark Daffodil Delight. And then along the side, I'm just going to give it a little scribble of shadow. And then color the entire thing in the light daffodil. Okay. So there we go. Just like that. All right. And then again with the lines. Just like so. Very easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I am not a complex and difficult colorer. Alright, now on these two, we're looking at a little bud and the back side of this flower. So for the back side of the flower, I'm going to just color that little bit just like I would have on here. And I'm going to follow the lines a little. And this one doesn't have any line, but I wanted to add just a little bit of yellow there. So I'm going to put that in. And then I'm going to color that spot because I feel like that's the edge of the little buttercup. So I want to make sure that I've got that colored in. And then there are my lines again. And now with the bud, I'm going to color the bottom side in the dark. And then switch over to the light daffodil and color it in, right? There we go. All right, that's all I'm doing for the daffodils, okay? So now I'm going to take my light mossy meadow and I'm just filling in the leaves, okay? So there is not a... not any kind of fancy technique here. I'm just scribbling. So just color it in. And there we go. Now, of course, you could use the brush tip, and I normally do, but there are some little fine lines here as well. And so instead of flipping back and forth, I'm just going to stick with the little bullet tip this time. Alright, here we go. Right up here to the edge. There we go. Now let's get this one. There. And right around that little petal. There we go. Around that little petal. Alright, we got this. Here we go. Okay, now let me get this little stem here. Alright, and then I want this stem. And this stem. And then let's finish the rest of these leaves here. Okay. I don't know if you can hear the pupcake in the background. He's chewing on his, is it his little hatchet toy? It's a little disturbing actually. He he has a subscription to Super Chewer Bark Box, or maybe that was from his pup box. Anyway, he gets a subscription to one of those pup boxes, and it's a hard plastic toy meant for him to be able to chew on. and I had posted a picture on my profile page, I think yesterday, and it's a little disturbing looking because he's got it hanging out of his mouth like, you know. Okay, now I have all of the leaves colored, and I'm just going to go back in, and everywhere that there would be a natural shadow, I'm just going to add a little more color. And it's going to be very, very light, okay? It's not going to be a whole lot of difference, but I don't really want a whole lot of difference. I just want a little bit of depth here. Okay, here we go. And then as we're adding layers of color here, it's gonna be just a nice, subtle little shadow, okay? Just a little bit. There we go. All right, and then just a little bit right there too. There we go. All right. Now that that's done, we're going to set that off to the side, and this card is actually going to come together rather quickly. So the coloring takes just a few minutes, but once it's done, everything else is golden. All right. Now, let me, I need to take this off. I actually put dimensionals on my vanilla layer here, and then I realized that's not what I wanted to do because I wanted to be able to show you the mailable version or the mail friendly version. Okay, so I'm gonna put some Stampin' Seal on the back of my Designer Series paper, and that goes directly onto the card base. Okay. And then I do want dimensionals on the back of this piece just so that it raises it up and separates it from the base of the card. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and leave the dimensionals on this one. There we go. And that looks pretty good. Okay, now this piece, I need to use my little eraser here and get that adhesive off. I'm just getting this off so that it's not raised up. It's got a little bit of the foam left from the foam dimensionals, but there we go. Alright, now I'm going to get a new adhesive, I think, because this one's about out. Alright, so if you have never seen how to replace the adhesive in the Stampin' Seal adhesive, let me show you how that's done. Alright, so I have my case right there, and then little refill. And these little holes line up with these pegs. I always like to put the big one in the back first and then just guide it right on along, and that is it. We are ready to rock and roll right off the bat with another adhesive. Pretty easy, isn't it? Alright, so we have that layer. I'm going to put this one directly onto the yellow layer there. Okay, and then I'm gonna put this layer directly onto the yellow layer, just like that. There we go. Okay, now let's go ahead and get our Memento ink and our Pierce mat. Got my paper here. I think I might have gotten some adhesive or something icky on there. Hold on a second. Quit. Alright. Now, tap, tap, tap. Not smush, smush, smush. Let's see if I can line this up and keep my face out of the way. Very good. All right, now, because I have just one layer of dimension here, I can pop this up on dimensionals and I can put my little bow here, okay? So, for this one, I'm going to put one dimensional on this side because it's already popped up once, right? And then to make it even, I'm going to have to put 2 layers of dots on this side so that it's the same height when I put it on the card. I hope that makes sense. So we're just making sure that we have the same number of layers. All right, there we go. And then that's gonna go just like that. All right, now I need a bow, and I'm not gonna be able to use this great big loopy floppy bow. It's a little bit too dimensional, but I can just tie a super cute little bow. And the lace isn't necessarily a really easy bow. I mean, it's not bad, but it's got the scallops, and that makes it kind of hard sometimes. But looks like it's going to cooperate with us okay. There we go. And then a glue dot. And we'll just put that right there. So it's relatively the same card. All right. And then our rhinestone basic jewels. One there. One there. And one here. All right, there we go. Okay, friends, there it is. Isn't it beautiful? So you can see, even this one is still very pretty, but man, when you add layer upon layer upon layer of dimension, it just, oh, it's so cool. I love dimensional cards. All right, now for the inside of the card, I just stamped that daffodil cluster that I used for the front and then colored it the exact same way. So I'm not going to bore you to tears and make you watch me color it again, but I will go ahead and stamp it. All right, so let me grab my stamp here. And then, of course, for the envelope, I would do the same thing that I do generally on the inside. I would go ahead and stamp the daffodil flower cluster just on the edge there a little bit, okay? Beautiful. All right, so I will color that here in a minute, and then let me grab an envelope here. More ink for my flowers. Got things scattered all over the place because I'm getting ready for an all-occasion Stamp-A-Stack this Saturday, and I have got things everywhere. I've got bins full of kits cut and ready to go, cards that are designed and not cut kits yet, which I've got to get finished, and all kinds of crazy stuff. There we go. And then that's how I would dress up that envelope. So I think it's very pretty. And you can decide if you want to color it with not dimensionals, oh my goodness, with the Stampin' Blends or not. Just remember that the blends do kind of bleed through the paper just a little bit, which is why I was coloring on my mat and my scrap paper. So I would stick a piece of copy paper down in between the layers of the envelope here for this one. And then for the flap, I really don't think that it matters for it to show through, but if it matters to you, don't color this one, okay? All right, folks, there you have it. I hope you have enjoyed today's beautiful Make It Monday project, don't forget to head over to my blog, thestampinchick.com, and check out all of the other fabulous celebration projects that are created for you by the Stampers Showcase design team. They do an amazing job, and I know you're just going to love their projects. So thank you all so much for watching and for spending some time with me this evening. I hope you've enjoyed it. And until next time, my friends, I will see you later. Bye for now.